and it underlines the vital importance of the ICC and the Office of the Prosecutor as an independent prosecutor of war criminals. And it sends a much stronger and more far-reaching message right around the world to despots and dictators everywhere that they will be brought to justice, that they will be held to account.
Justice ministers from around the world met in London today, aiming to boost international support for the International Criminal Court's investigations into alleged Russian war crimes. That includes the court's investigation into President Putin himself, accusing him of illegally deporting children from Ukraine. In a provocative move, just after the ICC issued its arrest warrant, Putin visited the Russian-occupied Ukrainian port city of Mariupol after a stopover in Crimea, where he toured a children's center. Piotr Hofmański is president of the International Criminal Court. Mr. Hofmański, thanks so much for taking the time.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
It's very unlikely that Vladimir Putin will be prosecuted in the near future. So what do you hope the immediate impact of this arrest warrant will be?
So, to tell you the truth, we expect our state parties, they're backing us to take action. It is the case that the judges of the ICC just delivered the arrest warrants. It is up to the state parties, their own statute, which is 123 states, to act and to arrest the person on its territory if possible. But obviously, we are also realistic. We understand that it's not so easy. And we treat a little bit this arrest warrants also as a kind of sanctions. You know, the person under the arrest warrants cannot leave the territory to the territory of the state parties without taking the risk to be arrested. And even more important, I think it is the important signal for the whole world that the action has consequences. That is simply not like that you can commit international crimes without consequences. And to bring hope to the victims, to show the international community that we are here to stay, we must act in this way.
So I guess effectively in the short term, this confines Vladimir Putin within Russia as much as possible. I mean, I know there are other countries, China, Saudi Arabia, which have not signed on to the Rome Statute, are not part of the 123 countries that support the International Criminal Court. But for the most part, this essentially confines him to Russian-controlled territory.
No, I don't think it will be possible on the territory controlled by Russia. But you know, it is not end of the world. 123 states is well 2/3 of the general number of the world of the world.
Right. So, but just a day after the ICC put out the arrest warrant, sir, he went to Mariupol. A last-minute visit to Crimea to tour a children's palace that he commissioned. Do you see this as a direct response to that warrant, sort of an act of defiance in any way?
No, you know, it's politics. It's not for us. Judges decide on the basis of the facts applying law, and how this person behaves. It's not for us to assess. I think it's the political action simple.
So you can't, the ICC cannot have a trial of Vladimir Putin in absentia, but the ICC's prosecutors say you can do what's called a confirmation hearing in absentia, which would allow for the evidence against Vladimir Putin to be preserved, and that then paves the way for a future trial. Is this the next step for the ICC? What would the next step be for the International Criminal Court, sir?
That's true that the Rome Statute does not allow the trial in absentia. As far as this stage of the confirmation of charges is concerned, it's under the dispute. There's no clear jurisprudence on this issue, whether the confirmation of charges is possible without having the person in the courtroom or not. But we have already the case in pipeline, and this issue should be clarified soon. If it will be possible, the next step would be probably the confirmation of charges, and we will wait. We will wait. You know, there is no limitation, no time limitation for the prosecution of these types of crimes. Sometimes perpetrators faced justice many years after they committed these atrocities.
Now, he is supposed to visit South Africa for a conference later this year, but South Africa has yet to condemn Russia's war on Ukraine. says that it is aware of its legal obligations after the ICC warrant, but given that South Africa has in the past refused to act on ICC warrants, are you worried South Africa may refuse to do so yet again?
I don't know. It's against the political question. I would only underline that it is a difference between the case of al-Bashir, where we are talking about there were some obligations under the African Union Treaty, and the situation we face now. But I cannot talk for the authorities of South Africa. What we will do, they are fully aware, and we are happy about it. And I hope that will comply with the requirements of the Rome Statute.
Do you suspect that President Putin will simply stay in Russia? He skipped the G20 earlier this year, given the warrant against him, 123 countries, as you stated. Do you suspect he'll just stay at home to avoid any kind of risk like this?
Again, I don't know. I cannot talk for Mr. Putin. I don't know how he will behave.
Well, we saw the likes of former Serbian President Slobodan Milosevic. He was prosecuted at The Hague. I just wonder, how hopeful are you that Putin will eventually face that same fate?
The case of former President Milosevic before the Special Tribunal for Yugoslavia shows us everything is possible. It depends on many circumstances, not necessarily within the system. Many external factors can play a role. And so we, as I said, we give hope, we act according to our mandate, and we really believe that the person's concerns will face the justice before the court.
So what happens next, sir? What is the next step you take as the ICC? What is the next step the signatories of the Rome Statute can take to bring President Putin to face these charges?
There are the procedures. The registry of the court will send the letters to state parties. They will contact, obviously, the Europol and other relevant bodies asking for the execution, help to execute terrorist warrants. And within the judicial proceedings, judges have to wait for the next request of the prosecutor, which could be the request for the confirmation of charges. And the prosecutor, I believe, but I'm not talking from the prosecutor again, will continue the investigation, the situation in Ukraine.
And what message, just as a final point, sir, what message does this arrest warrant send to the rest of the world?
As I said, we are here to stay. We are doing our job. We bring people to victims that these atrocities will not go unpunished. And we react accordingly. And we will continue.
Okay, Mr. Hofmański, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much.